Hello everyone, my name is Dan from Ghost Network Solutions. Today we got a laptop in. The customer accidentally broke the DC jack. I've already started doing this, but we're gonna get into the process and see what it's like here. So the first thing you guys want to do, like when you're soldering, is to lower the temperature or the solder melt. So what I mean is lowering the solder so it's a lower temperature. It's easier to desolder. I've already added a bunch of solder and wicked it away, so we're just going to go ahead and use our hot air station. And we're going to add some flux to this. So all the points on the board here. For precaution, we're going to turn our fume extractor on so that way we're not breathing in dangerous chemicals. Alright. I like to get to the bottom of this, take parts off from the bottom. And then the heat away from anything plastic because you don't want to melt anything. We're just going to heat it, get it preheated a bit, and then we're going to go in and get this board off. And don't just pull on it when you're desoldering. You do not want to rip any pads, and you also don't want to break any components off around it. So we did take the DC jack off the motherboard. As you can tell, that's your DC jack right here. I'm going to flip it around. Just like that. Beautiful. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this DC jack. That's the old one that we just desoldered. And if you're not into, soldering, like you don't do this full time, I recommend you do not touch it. You do not want to break somebody else's motherboard, right? This is especially a customer's. You're doing this for a living, so it has to be done professionally. Like I said, I've already started Flux and lower melt the solder for these pads on the board. What we're actually going to do is just whip the rest of it out, and then we're going to anchor the new port down and then solder. So we're going to add a bit of flux on our DC jack pads on the board. There we go. And then we're going to get some wick and then wick this guy stuff away there. Oops. Go. Same with this hole, and then these two. And this stuff is very tiny. There we go. Just making sure it's 100% all the solder's out of those holes. I'm just going to fit the new port down just for a second, just to kind of see what it's doing here. And that is actually a perfect fit. So we got the new port installed here. We're going to go ahead and flip the board over and then start soldering the rest down here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 of them are ground, and then 1 of them is your power. So, and they also help anchor the port down. Without that, your port would snap off, and it's just not good news for people, right? We're gonna add some flux, and we're gonna grab some fresh solder here. Go. It's a little difficult soldering with the camera on me like this. Go. Just gonna move the board a bit. Get easier access here. There we go. Go. Sorry for the camera dropping. I just have my iron in the most awkward position here. There we go. And that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and put all this back. And we're gonna go ahead and clean our residue that we just made with flux. I'm just trying to clean up this little residue we've made on the board. This flux does burn. There we go. Just like that. They look pretty solid, anchored well. And then we're going to go ahead and do this side as well. Almost there. And you can tell they're anchored well on this side of the board as well. Just clean any fingerprint residue on that side. And then remaining bad flux. There we go. Just like that. And they're anchored very nicely. So this side again. Just like that. Beautiful. Alrighty. So we got the new DC jack installed. And here is the old one. The customer did break the pin on the inside. I don't know if you see those two metal tabs on the inside. That is actually ground. So it is shorting on the power side of the DC jack. It's definitely no good. You don't want these touching power. And that is why it broke. So we're going to go ahead and assemble this board back into the laptop once we are done. And then test it. I'd like to just dry up the connector a little bit, and in case there's any alcohol. Nope. Same with this side. Alright. There's a lot of wires here you gotta watch for on this board. Not too bad though. The board actually goes this way. Go. We're going to put the screw back in the motherboard in this corner. We might as well put the fan back. Put our two screws for the fan. And then we got our Wi-Fi card. Let's see here. Just gonna plug this Flux in first. There we go. We're going to tuck our antennas back into the clip here on the side of the keyboard assembly. Plug in our speakers, our CMOS battery. This is our mouse pad right here. Then we got our M.2 drive. So this stores the customer's data, and it holds like your operating system on it. And then we got our keyboard right here. Perfect. Then we got to plug our LCD cable back in. There we go. Tuck the wire nicely. Push the bracket down, the hinge. Just got to put a couple screws in for the LCD as well. Or bracket, I mean. Otherwise your hinge could snap off. Making sure everything is assembled, looks good. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and plug our cable back into the laptop now that it's done soldering. And we get a flashing light here in the corner. Oh, we're getting a blue light, as you could tell. Perfect. We're getting the fan spin. Still doesn't want to boot up. We're actually just going to go ahead and plug the battery back in. Go. The cable was also damaged, so my concern is it might just be the back cable. Let's try this again here. We're getting a charging icon, so that's great news. This laptop may need the battery to boot up. And yes, it is. Okay. And there we go. And that's how you replace the DC jack. Sorry, I'm just moving the camera so everyone can see. And that's it. So this repair was successful, and the customer will have to be more careful next time, just so it doesn't happen again. Like my tip is, like, if you're not, like, say you are transporting it or something, you unplug it from the board, because you'll have some stuff like this happen. You might snap the connector off, and that requires board level repair. And I just gotta finish the rebuild of the laptop. I'm not going to show it on video. I just kind of wanted to do a quick video and show people how to change the PC jack on a circuit board. I will be posting more videos, hoping to have a better setup. That way, the camera's not falling off while we're doing video recordings. And yeah, thanks for watching.